What is going on, YouTube? Hope you guys are doing fantastic today. Today, we're going to be taking a look at farming, and we're just going to try to just analyze it as much as possible. There is a lot of specifics that people have about how to farm better. I'm going to take this big idea known as farming and try to break it down as easily as possible across every role, across every point of the game, and just try to make it as easily digestible as possible so that you guys can improve in your farming. So there are 5 roles in Smite: solo, jungle, mid, support, and ADC. They all farm the same type of way, except the jungler. The jungler is more focused in the jungle. I'm going to start with solo lane and just talk about how you're going to be farming, where you're going to be farming, and then just ways to kind of optimize farm. The 3 timers solo laners should be the most aware of are the blue buffs, the cooldown buff, and then the mid camps on their side of the map. The back camps are kind of more for the junglers farm. That's farm that junglers are going to get a lot of the times, or the mid laners. Obviously, if nobody's done it for the past 6 minutes, grab it on your way. And that's like a big thing, is people don't want to just take the farm because,
oh, that's the jungler's farm, right? That's the mid laner's farm.
if they're leaving farm on the map for this long up, you can go take that. Especially if your jungler's still not even on that side of the map, go take it. This is my big Google sheet that I have a lot of information in, and this is the timers page. These timers are for map objectives. They're for beads Aegis. Buff timers are 2.5 minutes, and back camps are 2 minutes. So if you drop your blue buff at 2 minutes, your blue buff will be up at 4.5 minutes. If the enemy drops their buff at 2:30, it will be respawning at 5 minutes. So that is 2 timers you'll know. You'll know your buff spawns at 4:30 and their buff spawns at 5 minutes. The cooldown and shield buff spawns at 1.5 minutes. So this is the most consistent farm you have on your side of the map. If you drop it at 4 minutes, it'll be up at 5.5. This is a timer you need to know, you need to understand it, you need to be there, you need to be ready to do it. Something that a lot of solo laners don't like to do, and it's a big thing that I've seen Haddix do in the SPL a lot, is say we're on the order side, you're farming this way. A big thing that Haddix will do is when he sees this is spawning, if he knows his team can fight here, he'll actually wrap around over top Fire Giant to look for a fight over top on this mid camp, and he will be the one engaging on this fight to force a fight on an actual objective. In the early game, the best way to force fights are on small objectives like buffs. Red buffs, purple buffs, green buffs, blue buffs. Any of those you can force fights on, or the mid camps and the back camps, because that's when you know the enemy is required to be there, or they're going to want to be there to farm better for themselves. So a big tip for solo laners is try to clear a wave before rotating over, or have your TP available for when you walk over. So if you're going to be missing a wave, you can TP back. That's a big thing that, again, Haddix, solo, or troll do in the SPL, is they will rotate over. So they will clear a wave, they will back, they will rotate over for a fight, maybe look for a Gold Fury or an Invade or something, keep their teleport up, and then after this fight is over, they'll teleport back, or they'll reset and then teleport back, so they miss as little farm as possible in the solo lane. And that is just something you can do as a solo laner. Solo laners can do more things than others because they're allowed to go TP. They can proxy. Proxying is pretty hard on this map, but once you get to 10-15 minutes, proxying is basically the same thing. Moving on to jungle. A big tip I have for junglers that I also have for supports: split farm when you look for a gank. So if you go to solo lane, you kill, push this wave out with your solo laner, and then go back to farming in the jungle. Don't just get the kill and then let your solo laner solo the wave. If you're getting him a kill, or if you're getting the kill, push that wave with him. It's a little bit different if your solo laner is just floundering and he's super far behind and you get that kill. He's still a little bit behind and you need to get him a little bit more farm. Maybe you leave the farm for him. But if he's even, he's ahead, you should be splitting that farm with him. That's time that you're taking out of your farm to go help him, that you should be splitting some of his farm also, so then you're farming at the same time. A big tip for junglers also on top of that one is make sure that you're farming the correct side of the map dependent on how many buffs are up on that side of the map. If your right side has only back camps up and your left side has speed buff, back camps, mids are spawning, the green buffs up, why go clear out this one back camp when there's 4 buffs or 4 camps over here and one is contested that is going to become available in no time? Go to the left side, clear out this, and then maybe around that time your right camps will be spawning, or at least one of them will be spawning. Now for mid laners, I think this is the biggest difference between a good mid laner and a bad mid laner. Mid laners will farm the jungle if their jungler is looking to gank a lane. The most respawning camps are the mid camps, and that's where the mid laners will be. Mid laners should be trying to do these camps as they are spawning. Same with the back camps. If your jungler is not going to be there, you should be taking those back camps. If your jungler is pulling the red and the speed buff, you should be grouping these together and splitting them with him. It might feel weird, but mid laners should be splitting a lot of farm with the junglers because the mid lane is one of the most important roles when it comes to farming. So feel free to take a little extra farm. Your jungler should be relying more on ganks for farming. Don't proxy your jungler from farm, but split a speed buff with him, split a red buff with him, split back camp, split green buffs. You should be power farming. That is your role. You want to get to late game. Your jungler is trying to put the enemy behind while getting himself ahead. You're trying to just get yourself ahead. instead. Now, on top of that jungle thing where I said, if you're ganking a lane or if you're helping a lane take the wave, do that as a support. The biggest thing I have for supports is split farm everywhere whenever you can. The most efficient way to farm in the entire Smite game. The entire Smite game is 50-50 splitting everything on the map. Why is that the most efficient way? So if you two-man split something, you're splitting at 66% efficiency, so 2/3. So if you have two roles, mid laner and jungle, and they are both splitting one thing, or they're both soloing one thing, you're getting it at 100% efficiency, both of those things. When you two-man split two things, those same two things, you're getting both those things at 264% efficiency. You see the math I did right here because I couldn't think of it offhand. But yeah, 66% efficiency for 4 things because there's 4 of you, or there's 2 of you 2 times. So you're getting an extra 60% farm just from splitting stuff that way. That's why support, you should be splitting as much as you can because it is just the best way to be farming. You shouldn't be soloing your green buff or soloing back camps. You should be looking to split purple, split wave, try to invade the enemy purple, try to steal the enemy back camps, the enemy green buff. But you should never be forgoing your farm in favor of putting the enemy behind. That's not just the way to play Smite anymore because Invader's Curse isn't in the game anymore. It's not a way that you can play Smite. You can't play to just keep the enemy behind and then you just not farming either. So my thing for support is you should be splitting one wave everywhere for the entire game. If you miss 1, 2, 3 here or there because you're making a play on the map, sure, fine. For all intents and purposes, you should be thinking, what wave am I going to be splitting here? So a wave's coming out here at 6 minutes, a wave's coming up here at 6 minutes, and then there's another one at 6:30 in every lane. If I'm playing here and I know this purple buff is spawning, I want to be here for 6 minutes, invade the purple buff at 6:15, and then I want to be going back to solo lane for 6:30, and then maybe heading mid for the 7-minute map, or the 7-minute mid wave, and then maybe contesting a mid camp or something like that. It's the same thing if you go to solo lane. If I'm playing for the 7:15 solo blue buff, I'm going to be here for 7, go here for 7:15, and then split this wave at 7:30, and then rotate out. Lastly, for ADC, I think a big thing for ADC is this back camp is nearly considered the ADC camp, or support camp, whatever you want to call it. It's for this duo side of the map. The jungler will take it if it's there, but as a duo lane, this is something that you should be grabbing with this purple buff a lot of the time. You should also have this buff on absolute cooldown, absolute lockdown. So what's the timer on it? Cooldown is shield buff, 1.5 minutes. Mids are 1 minute. Backs are 2 minutes. Buffs are 2:30. So this right here, these are 4 camps that you can be contesting at least every minute. You can rotate to this. Wave hits here at 7 minutes. You could rotate here around 7:10. Rotate back 7:30. You'd be back for your next wave. Your buff spawns every 2.5 minutes. It's on your waist for 2 minutes. So you know you have 30 seconds when the purple buff drops off of either your waist or the enemy waist for their buff to be spawning. Simple things like that and just understanding stuff like that really helps your farming. But there it is, a little general guide to farming. I hope this helps you guys out. I know a lot of you guys struggle with farming, so a little video like this could go a long way. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys have a wonderful first day. I'll see you guys again next time. Peace.